Oh, that's the countdown? Was a thumbs up?
Yeah,
That was
it. That was it. That was the
and we have
countdown.
talked about this, Justin. A
I.
countdown
That was it.
is more
Oh
than
shit!
one
Hold
number.
on.
We have talked about this, Justin. What are you doing?
I
Why
just
am I
had.
holding-
Nope, I'm good. We're good. I had Twitch up. Sorry, everybody.
I don't think we've ever had a perfect opening.
No,
Ever.
Justin
No.
in charge.
Well, the thing is, usually I start counting while I do I undo the mute and everything that we have, because like there's 4 things I have to click on, and I just was like, nope, I'm just gonna click these today, and then I was like, oh shit, we're actually going.
Spoop, watch your language.
Boop.
Hi, everyone. You've been listening to the cast-ish of Never Split the Party ramble about trying to start streaming. My name is Dustin. I'm the GM for this evening. I'm joined by a slightly reduced cast, as Michael cannot join us this week because he thinks music is better than us, and I'm offended by that. Patrick, who left us last time because he's wasteful of space and air, is joining us this week, reprising Michael's role of Rex. So that's going to be exciting.
I didn't watch, so I'm going to make up everything as I go.
Yep, that's fair. This is our last episode of our B Team special of Mostly Harmful, our Starfinder campaign. Next week, just to clarify, we'll be doing a supernatural first session. We'll be going over the Cortex system and rules, as well as creating characters for the supernatural RPG we'll be playing for a little while. And we'll be doing a rotating arc where we do some Starfinder, we do some other things. We may revisit Supernatural a couple of times. I'm dying to get them to do something with Gundam and probably Firefly. But yeah, all stuff good coming, fun stuff. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves now. I'm going to stop rambling. Then I'll give you guys the what happened last time, as much as I remember it, and we'll kick off tonight's episode. So I have no idea what order it is, but I think we're going to go with Patrick because I like picking on him.
Sure. Hi, my name is Patrick, and I'm going to be playing Rex, but a different personality than previously seen. Period. He's a robot.
He's super handsome. Did you mention that he's handsome?
He's a robot.
Robots can't be handsome?
He works for an incredibly handsome person.
Oh my god, you're still specious. No, you're not right. I think that's a you thing, actually.
I think it might be. I think this is the nail in the coffin.
Anyway, if you're done, which I don't care if you are or not, I'm just gonna go.
I was done. I was waiting for you to go.
I'm Justin. I am playing Stevathan, Revillian male, Revillian human.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, he's a human from the planet Revel, which was a made-up planet that Dustin made.
They're all made-up planets, Justin. We're playing an RPG in space.
They're real. I believe in them, therefore they are real. In my heart of hearts.
You're not playing Warhammer. You're not an orc. Stop it.
That's all I got. Stevathan's just kind of along for the ride and doesn't know if he likes it.
/ maybe a hostage.
Yes.
I'm Chris, and I play the Goblin Sabanat, also known as Not Sob, also known as Sob. And I'm just realizing now that we didn't update our splash screen. Still says Not Sob.
Oh, my bad. I did not put any time to it this week because I've been doing new overlays for the past month and a half. So get off my back.
Dustin's very ragey today, by the way.
He is.
So
So much so that I wore this shirt for him.
No one can't. It just says, dude. Oh, good. Nice. The slow scroll. I like it.
Audio's gonna love that.
Let me read that to you. Do not piss off the dungeon master. That is what Chris's shirt says. For anyone who is listening to the audio podcast, we're going to start pretty much just dumping our straight Twitch feeds right to iTunes because I'd like to have all of our episodes up there for next week-ish. I guess we don't need to do the character creation episode as a podcast. So we've got 2 weeks to pump out 40 audio episodes. This is fine. So sorry for the spam. And yeah.
I'm sorry.
They're not going to be.
Joma just realized what Not Sob is.
Roma, you missed last week because he's also joined by the. Let me pull up my.
Oh,
list.
yes.
Joined by Croy, the goblin attendant, who has a cousin Wen Croy, who is a goblin playwright or actor or whatever, Neaps, who's a goblin bodyguard. Croy and Neaps are traveling with the party right now, and they encountered Sirap, the goblin king, who let the party know, and specifically Notzop, that Notzop is the listed savior. As I read the poem thing that I wrote twice last week, I'm not going to read it again, but you can catch up on why Notzop has been picked as the savior.
Because he's
And
naked.
this was all discovered at On the Turn, which is a casino inside of the Diaspora, which the B team party of Notsob, Stevenson, and Rex went to at the bequest of a pre-recorded audio message, just hanging out in the Diaspora. They were able to track down, with moderate difficulty, the Goblin King. They got a quest of sorts from the highest of highs with the goblins as far as they're concerned. And they are going to go get a massive BSU starship that the goblins took over. The goblin team that had taken it over mutinied and took it over again. And now it's not Sob's job, or sorry, Sob or Not's job as the savior to convince them of their evil ways and to convert. And with this starship, this massive starship, help begin the goblin overtaking of the universe. Did I miss anything important? I kind of did that backwards.
I think you're good.
Sounds about right to me.
At the very end of last session, and we'll pick up from here, I believe it was Stevenson that was grabbed by a BSU operative, more specifically a BSU inquisitor by the name of Torgrad, a large, very well-dressed, although in somewhat mundane clothes because he's an inquisitor, but expensive clothing nonetheless, named Torgrad. For anyone who has been paying attention, and I certainly know it wasn't Patrick, Torgrad was one of our bad guys from our bad guy special we did a month or so ago. Also played by Chris.
Hello.
Picking up there, Notsob and Rex had just they just reconnected with Neaps. They're with Croy. Those are the two goblins they're traveling with. And they just hired or convinced 6 goblins in this little goblin farmer market that they've been hanging out in to charge Torgrad the Vesk, as he has apprehended and has been questioning Stevenson. Taking off there, the last thing the goblins said was a rallying war cry of "For the Savior," we guess, or for the King. I don't remember exactly who they're hailing for. It's a little mix of everything. They're not sure themselves, and they are currently charging down and around the corner of this goblin farmers market at Torgrad. What are Rex, who just got bopped on the head by a passing goblin, and Notsob/Sob not doing?
Watching.
Okay.
Rex is just looking around. I don't know how much of his face can express confusion, but
basically eyebrows. His eyebrows move. That's it.
His eyebrows look to be very confused eyebrows. The rest of his face looks robotic and unchanged.
Canonically, in my head, Rex is a mix between like Johnny Five from Short Circuit's body, treads and all, and C-3PO's face with the addition of eyebrows, because I like eyebrows. Also, please don't sue me.
They're very confused eyebrows.
And Notsob is looking just wide-eyed and bright, goofy smile.
We call those his horny eyebrows.
Rex looks over at Notsob. Hi, friend.
Oh, hey. What?
Who are you?
He goes to reach into a pouch, realizing that he's naked. Still pulls out a wrench, too.
From what pouch did that come from?
Are you all right, Rex?
Well, I think so. Just got a little ring-a-ling-a-ma-ding-a-ling. This one, not that one. Oh, I don't have one. All right.
Well, we're waiting for our friend, our meat thing. Our meat thing. Yes, we're waiting for our meat thing. The extra.
Speaking of the extra,
More confused eyebrows.
Stevenson, roll me a perception check.
Okay. I could find roll 20. There it is. 13.
13. Yeah, I'll say you're angled a little bit away from the kind of path of the farmers market, so you don't quite see what's coming around the corner, but you do hear hissing and shouting in a couple of maybe drifting lines of savior approaching rather quickly. And Rex, Patrick, you're muted.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
knew that the whole time, testing you guys, your ability to detect it. Just from out of character clarification, Not Sob is currently happy and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Oh yeah.
When the hell did that happen?
When he met the king of goblins.
Correct.
And Not Sob would
It's the
care?
king of goblins. King of goblins.
True. Also, I like how we have apparently Ned Flanders as Rex.
I'm going for a mixture of Ned Flanders and Troy McClure. I don't know how well I'll be able to pull that off.
I get it. I can tell. I can tell.
Stevenson, you are standing before Torgrad, who's got one clawed hand on your shoulder. He's asked you where Miller is, and last time you gave a unsatisfactory answer.
But I was just an extra. Because I am.
Just an extra. Torgrad produces from his utility belt a small, like stiletto-like blade, which he pushes into your abdomen, probably slightly adjacent to your belly button, assuming revealing humans have belly buttons still. He says, "I'm not gonna kill you, because you're far more useful to me alive, but I will make suffering the only thing you know from here until you're no longer useful to me if you don't start answering questions."
I'm pretty sure that suffering's all I've known since I stepped foot off of the ship.
I will double down on it. And he pokes you a bit with the blade.
That's pokey. Stop it. Ouch.
Tell me where Miller is.
I don't know where Miller is.
I'm going to have him roll an intimidate. And
actually, does he know? Probably does.
He knows the planet. I'll give you the planet is definitely what Stevenson would know. Beyond that, probably not, actually. In terms of intimidate, I don't really know what you counter intimidate as a PC. I usually just have a DC for it.
Probably a will.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's do a will save. Yeah, I like that. God damn it. Do I still have Torgrad sheet up, or did I lose
Get 21.
I can send it to you. I have it.
Do you want to resend it to me?
Do you want me to tell you what the bonus is to?
Unless I don't know, is it going to make the 3 better? Which you probably can't see because it's the white.
It actually beats Justin's.
I have a 21.
Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, his bonus to intimidate is plus 19.
Okay, all right. Then I'll say Stevenson is intimidated enough by the stiletto in his belly that he doesn't need to actually be stabbed to give up a little bit of information. Feel free to disclose it how you want, but work at least verses into the topic.
Okay.
I also sent it to you in Hangouts.
Thank you. I'll grab it.
Okay, I think he went to go see Brawl's family or something.
Brawl. That's the
other Yosoki. Yes.
Other Yosoki. Right. That means verses.
Maybe. I don't know where he lives.
Shut up, extra. And as he's like kind of thinking in his head, he's gonna roll a perception check.
He could live on Castrovel for all I know.
He finally notices the shrieking from behind him, and as he turns, 6 goblins, flailing green, spindly limbs and all, come leaping on to the Vesk's back. The language and shouting they've been doing before has broken down to just hissing and biting and spitting as they attempt to take down this Vesk. Could I have you make a... I'll let you choose which is best for you. It can be acrobatics or athletics for
Both are
this
0.
game. Both are 0.
What about reflex? What about reflex?
Wouldn't it be the same? Oh, is reflex dexterity based?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's give it reflex. You're taking the opportunity of these goblins jumping on him to try and twist away.
14.
14. You know what? The DC is probably not more than a 10 for this one. He's got 6 goblins just jumped on him, and he got the information he needs from you. He actually releases you as you kind of try and tug away. Your hand falls away. You are free. As far as I know, Rex and Not Sob are still at the far end of the farmers market watching. The
I
ship,
book it as fast as I can.
the farmers market is on the far west of the station, and your ship is on the far east of the station. Seeing Stevenson bolt, I assume, for the ship.
Oh, yeah.
What do Rex and Sauber not do?
I think we should go follow him. He looks almost as excited as I am to help the king.
Well, considering I have no other options, and I'm not sure where we are, and I just met you, I feel as though I've known you a long time. Yet I also feel you are different than what I would have known.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Either way, lead the way.
You know, even this new one here is about as cooperative as the other one. Yeah. Let's go.
The other one, you say, as I
What?
disappear behind him
What?
into the end of the scene.
So Not Zob's scampers. How fast would you say Not Zob's pace is right now? What's he setting?
How far ahead is Stevenson?
Pretty significantly far. You guys are at the far end of the
he's
farmers
top speed
market?
then.
Okay, top speed. So you're hustling on. Okay,
Yeah.
so Not Zob sprints through the farmers market, and the goblins make way. The 2 goblin attendants, Croy and Neaps, are also in hot pursuit, and Rex comes bombing down on his treads. Just
Okay.
right behind.
Can I add flavor?
Please.
So I imagine that Not Sob's sprinting is less straightforward and more kind of a little
Pretty much,
scattered.
yeah, it's pretty janky.
Goblin, exactly what you would
he's
imagine.
he's also completely naked now. You weren't here last session, but he no longer has the apron.
Okay.
So he's very much, yeah.
Stephen
Okay.
also almost got naked.
He did actually, yeah. He almost did.
It's very close.
So Not Sob's quite a bit ahead of Rex, and Rex is trying to mimic this scattered movement, but Rex is on treads, so that's just a lot of like awkward, like stop, back up, go forward, Austin Powers in a hallway type of movements. And
I'm
then
picturing Rob from Smash when every time he dodges, he goes.
I wouldn't know. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that's right. And then you hear, "Hey, extra finger, slow down."
Talking about your penis.
I know. He doesn't slow down. He just giggles.
From the side, a familiar voice to Not Zob, unfamiliar to current Rex, version unknown. You hear an old gnarled voice say, "Get them, you whippersnappers! Make sure you poke them in the eyes at least twice. And come on back to Gaps."
Cap, yeah.
Bastards. I saw Chris's complete blank face.
I got it. Yeah,
Who is it? Who is it?
What is a gap?
Don't you worry about it. Gap is you're watching last week's episode and you're going to cry about it because it was so good. You guys are able to get past Torgrad without a problem. I'm going to give him 6 strength checks to see how he is to dislodge these goblins. That's going to be 1 gone. That's going to... Oh, God. He gets 2. He shakes 2 loose as you guys run by him. So he is still obstructed by 4. He's like flailing wildly. He throws one goblin off, and it flies into one of these ramshackle stalls that the goblins are selling weapons and organic pieces that used to belong to people and other pilfered goods. Not a real plant in the entire farmers market. And they're just knocking things down and bowling over other goblins who are loving it. They're having a great time. As far as they're concerned, this is a party, and they have Not-Sob to thank for it. You guys make your way through the concourse of the casino, which map I also don't have up right now, but that's okay. Could I have you guys all 3 of you, do perception checks while you're running? And then you'll be basically making it to the indecision. And that silence
23.
audio, folks, is people trying to figure out how to do perception checks for characters that they don't normally play.
21.
I was the first one to succeed.
I got 23.
Thanks, Macros.
23, 21, and
19.
19. That's enough. You guys notice that there were figures last time that Notsub had pointed out, and Rex, you mostly just pick up on the unusual movement from the crowd, where the crowd of the casinos filled with all sorts of species and different levels of like wealth and opulence, from poor people trying to make a buck at the casino to rich people just throwing away money they don't need. There are these suited up figures with sunglasses that fit their faces of various races. They were in some way, shape, or form related to the BSU, and they were the ones who had previously alerted Torgrad to your presence. They are beelining towards the Goblin Farmers Market. They are not pursuing you guys. You make it to the tramway station. As I said before, it's a high volume, high traffic area, so there's always trams going to and from the parking area for spaceships. You get there, no problem. You get through the door where the robot attendant is stationed. One of you guys just has to basically fingerprint the door. We'll say nuts. Oh, Stevenson gets there first. So Stevenson slaps thumbprint on there, and you were registered for the ship, so it's not a problem. I don't remember what you were registered as. Stevenson, because you didn't think to give a different name. That's right.
Not
and
registered as what?
What? That's correct. And I don't. Rex is 0 Rex.
0 Rex. Yes.
0 Rex. Okay. You guys all make it through the doorway. The attendant's like, come again. Thank you for experiencing on the turn. It's your turn next time, we promise. He says that line 2 more times as Not-Sob and Rex go through. Because he's a robot and able to double vocalize, he actually says it at the same time, but halfway through. So it's actually, you get like a bit of an echo as he goes, because Rex comes close enough on Not-Sob's heels that it overlaps. You guys make it to the ship without any other issue. You have your 2 goblin attendants in tow. The goblins you had hired previously are still presumably dealing with Torgrad, the Vesk. And you guys are now on the indecision.
More dwarves.
I don't understand.
All right.
That's Rex not knowing what a goblin is.
Oh.
Stevenson's pushing buttons frantically, we need to go, we need to go, we need to go.
Where you going?
Give me a computer's check. Because you are not a
a
pilot.
Huh?
You are not the pilot. Give me a computer's check.
26.
No, you're fine. You get it. It started. You're not a complete moron. You've seen both 0 and now 0 Rex operate the indecision. So you know how to get it warmed up. So by the time Not-Sob and Rex are up the boarding ramp, you track this. The ship lifts off, and you guys pull away from the asteroid that houses on the turn. You guys are now free floating in the diaspora, and Croy comes up to the computer with I don't know, I guess science officer. No, I guess it would be the pilot does navigation, right? So he comes up to Rex and he says, so I got these coordinates from the king himself. You're gonna punch him into the computer and take us away, little metal dude.
Yeah, you do that.
Coordinates.
Meanwhile, Sabanot is sitting in the captain's chair again. Made himself very much.
Oh
very much.
no!
This isn't the first time.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he sits in it every time I leave.
That is officially canon now. Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I found the stain.
This time he's
He's just
full
kind
on
of sitting
naked.
there, kind of picking his nose and looking around.
So basically, canonical goblin behavior. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
And Stevathan is still looking on in just like, it's sit there. It's where Rye sits.
That's perfect internal monologue.
Yeah, basically we have someone who could care less about Rye, and then we've got a little pocket Rye fanboy.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
good
wonderful.
team.
So I look at him and go, "Hi. So you're you're gonna you're gonna hand me a paper to hand to somebody else to. This feels like there's a more efficient way of doing this. Go
Oh,
ahead. Hand over you. How about this? See those legs underneath you?
what legs? Where?
All right. How about you walk on over to that man over there and you give him the coordinates. You've been promoted."
Stevathan waves. Hi.
The savior said that the idiot flesh bag couldn't fly the ship, but the
Sure.
metal one could.
Yeah.
Looks down. Hey, what do you know? I am metal. Sure thing. I just want to be helpful. I take the coordinates and I go over and I look at the panel. All right. Put the coordinates into the boop-de-doops. All right.
One thing I forgot is that Patrick's never actually flown a starship and doesn't know the checks, and I don't either.
Looks back down at the paper, tries to find a crease in one of the instruments, and he just slides it into a crease in between like two of the consoles.
Which is even better because Notsop doesn't have fingers; he has clamps.
Yeah.
Rex.
He's
Rex.
making a hot mess.
The clamps. So just nothing's happening.
Stevathan
Alright.
walks over, like, oh, you need to do this. Boop, 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 boop.
I'll allow it.
I
I
do have
did it.
pilot. I mean, if we're using Seeker's sheet, he does have piloting.
Oh, you do
Uh,
have piloting?
He does have a decent chunk of piloting.
You,
Rex's clamps go up and in celebration spin like repeatedly in one direction. The robot equivalent of jazz hands. I did it.
Stevenson, I don't need a perception check for you to realize that Rex isn't working right, and piloting doesn't seem to be in his repertoire right now.
All right. Give me the controls. I've always wanted to say that. Have I always wanted to say that? I'm brand new.
Rex, you're a robot. Why don't you go do some robot stuff? Maybe I'll try flying. It's not that. I don't think it's that hard. It might not be that. I'm a little scared, but that's okay.
Hi. You're new. I'm new too. You're not a dwarf.
I'm not, and I'm not new either. Are you okay?
He puts out his clamp for a clamp shake.
I shake the clamp. Are you okay, Rex? You don't seem too good. Like, you seem different.
Fleshy and weird.
I can fix him.
And I disappear off into the distance.
Into the distance. One note, and it's fine if that's not the way you guys take it. I'm pretty sure the science officer station is just straight up computer checks.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
That is something that the character sheet we're using for Dumb Rex
And
works.
Notsop can do it too.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was figuring he'd go do, and
Okay.
you take
Yeah,
over that, I'll take over piloting.
I'm not giving you
piloting,
guys
piloting.
starship combat in our
Yeah.
special episode, so don't worry about it too much. But do
Right.
give me
We're doing one in our normal episodes.
give me a piloting check.
Okay. Beep the boops. Oh, nat 20. You got 27.
Hey, you beeped all those boops. You hear it
Yeah.
coming from the intercom from a different room.
Yeah, I
will.
did.
I'll give you a nat bonus for that. There is a time delay. You guys have to enter the drift. You have to travel through the drift to arrive at the location on the coordinates. Unusually, those coordinates are actually in the drift itself, which is a little dangerous. The drift is Starfinder's version of like hyperspace or extra space, however you want to call it. It is a different plane of existence that greatly shortens the time to travel, mostly based on drift beacons and the material plane. But we won't go into that too much.
It's
Feel
the
free to
warp.
read up on Starfinder or watch our earlier episodes where we talk about it a little bit more. The drift itself is void, basically, except every time, or I don't know if it's every time, but usually it's like there's a random percent and it's a little high every time that someone enters the drift, there's the possibility of ripping a chunk out of a different plane of existence and importing it into the drift itself. That doesn't have to be just a material plane. So if you enter the drift and you pop up there, you might have also pulled out a chunk of hell with appropriately pissed off demons now floating in their weird magical void. So something like being housed in the drift where you guys are heading and you're not going to leave the drift when you get there is potentially concerning. Again, not impossible, not even particularly improbable. Just wanted to set the scene that the drift is not a place you hang out with, it's not a place you make a home. Okay. Roll me a d4, Stevenson, and based on your expert piloting skills, maybe even putting 0 to shame, you'll have cut down some time on how long it takes you to get to this place.
2.
2. I'm going to take away the normal bonus of in-system travel. It is a location that is apparently, relatively speaking, close in the drift. It takes you guys exactly 2 days to get there. We're not going to quite skip over that time just yet, because right now we have on the Indecision itself, which is the party's starship, which is a medium-sized military slash kind of designed off of transport vessel. You have Rex, who has no idea who the heck he is. We have Sobernaut, who might also not have any idea who the heck he is. We have Stevenson, who's questioning himself in other ways. We also have 2 visitors, the goblins Croy and Neaps. And while they've given you directions to the drift, they quickly wandered off because everything to do with computers and starship travel and work bores them. They are currently wandering around the Indecision, and Neaps, for anyone who has seen him, has pulled out some like slightly busted up spectacles and has pushed them up on the bridge of his crooked nose. One of the glass frames is completely missing. The other one is just slightly fogged. And he's kind of walking around, just getting into everything, like opening every cabinet, trying to get into every door, reading every piece of text he can find, poorly. Croy somehow has produced spray paint that is like blackish brown, and he's just kind of spraying corners of the rooms to make it look dirtier. And you've got 2
Sabernut
days.
loves it.
You've got 2 days to interact with the 2 goblin attendants who are familiar, supposedly, with the Goblin King. If you guys have questions, possibly other things, if you guys have questions, and they are going to make the ship homely while they are traveling.
Stephen would be kind of following them around, like, no, don't touch, no, can you please put, and like closing all the doors and drawers and everything that Yeps, whatever his name is opening. And then when the other one's spraying stuff, he's like, oh, actually, Seeker probably would like that. So that's probably fine. But no, come on, stop, just get, and just like trying to be like, almost like a mother trying to wrangle her kids. And he probably, at some point, is just going to break down and start crying in the middle of the floor because his life is chaos now.
I want to add one slight retcon. Justin meant to say a mother or father or other wrangling their kids, because it's not just mothers that wrangle children. And
no, he's specifically doing it like a mother would.
Developing mammary glands and the memories of birth. Okay. Son of a...
well, you know, that was my same. I was gonna say that from when you said the thing about screaming like a little girl. I was like, no, well, he is screaming like a little girl, literally a little girl. That's the sound he made. No, that was last time.
During this, Rex rolls into the room, sees Stevithan having a little mini freak out, and says, "Huh, interesting.
You you were supposed to be the normal one here. Why are you, what is wrong with you?
To be fair, in my mind, I am normal.
It's not normal.
Keeping on, Kipper, and I believe in you." And he says other things to attempt to reassure him that he's doing a good job at whatever it is that he's doing.
Can you do that again, but in Rye's voice?
I can't talk like bread.
No. Your captain, Rye Shorin.
I don't follow.
You know, owner of Rice Shorin LLC / Rice Oven LLC.
Checking computer banks.
Just
I don't have access to those.
I'm going to actually say you're probably wirelessly connected to the Indecision's infosphere. Make me a computers check.
Okay, hold on. Do I have a... Oh, I don't have a thing for that. Okay, hold on. Computers is 9. 12.
You are able to find some old footage of Raish Oren specifically performing the play The Gnome and I. If you so chose, you might be able to replicate mannerisms and voices specifically based on Rye during The Gnome and I.
Of course you would do that when I...
Can you say you believe me again? Believe in me again? Here, I hold out a personal, data pad. Just have it set to record.
Hold on a minute. God damn it, do I have it?
For the people at home, while Patrick does this, Patrick at one point thought I was going to actually make him put on the play The Gnome and I. And so he wrote at least scenes from the play that he could act out because he knew I was going to pick on him for it. It is almost a full year later. And I know we're rotating away from Starfinder for a bit, and I just didn't want to forget all the hard work he put into The Gnome and I. So I wanted to make sure he had the opportunity to bring it into Starfinder.
Well, I don't... I hate you so much. So hold on. Checking computers. Looks back at him confused. Oh, okay. And just immediately starts like mimicking coughing up blood and being deathly injured. And then switches over to seemingly another character and goes and puts his hand on, or his clamps on his shoulder and just goes, I'll travel for you. I'll travel for you. Scene.
Stevenson starts friend? Crying, just like, that was my favorite part.
All right.
But well, you didn't do what I asked you though. I wanted in his voice say that you believe in me. That I'm doing a good job.
That wasn't part of the play. Anyway, you keep on keeping on, Kipper. All right. And he does that little thing where you like touch someone's chin, like, go you. And
I don't really know that thing.
You know, when you like or tap someone,
a little like
keeping on,
knuckle,
right, exactly,
knuckle their
little
chin.
knuckle thing.
Yeah.
And then can you do me a favor, Stevithan?
Yep.
Can you roll a perception check for me?
15.
Okay, I need to roll a stealth check. Okay. And as I roll away, I forget that behind my back I'm holding an extra spray can because I'm about to go off and join the goblins. You see,
Meanwhile, so Nutsob is all about, or I'm sorry, Sabernaut is all about making this place look homely. Like he's helping spraying all the corners, and then the other goblin starts opening up cabinets, and that's where Sabernaut kind of gets a little intrigued because there are several rooms in this spaceship that he has never been before.
Oh God, no.
So as as doors are being opened up, he sees clothing, and he doesn't like what he sees in particular. So he just gathers every single piece of clothing that is on board, even Brawl's smelly, nasty, disgusting ones, even all of Rye's costumes,
Give
all of
me
Seeker's
a
stuff.
for Rye's room. I'll
Yeah.
need a computer's check to get in.
oh yeah, because that stuff is locked down.
Yeah,
24.
24. Give me an opposing computers check for Rye,
That's not.
and I'll have a
good.
bonus to it based on door security.
I got a 20.
Yeah, the security is probably enough that the 24 won't get into Rise. It probably gets into everyone else's room though. You know what? I'll roll for 0. I don't know his computer's bonus, but I rolled a nat 20, so 0's room's probably off. Justin, would Seeker even have his door locked?
Probably not.
Okay. You got Brawl and Seeker's clothing, no problem.
Oh no. No, not the
Um,
clothing. Other things that you could get from Seeker's room right now.
Roll
Oh,
me a
I hope I
perception
didn't put that idea in your head.
check. Roll me a perception check because you just did. Screw it.
27.
I'm going to rip out my notes for this campaign because I know where it's going now.
27.
Oh
What
no.
was that?
27.
As you pull out one of his garments, which is obviously excessively colored, probably with like one sleeve cut a little too short and with holes in it, and another one like missing pant leg and like a pair of black jeans. Yeah, that's fine.
Jorts,
Uh,
actually.
you happen to dislodge something a little bit from like kind of tucked back in a corner, not in a safe, but kind of like behind the space of a little like safe, like a hotel safe, but like he's wedged behind it. It's just like a rectangular object, probably the size like a cereal box, maybe a little bit bigger, crunchy crunch box. I'm sorry, let's set it in scene, and it's wrapped in like plastic sheeting. Don't know if that's interesting to Not Sob or not, but that is what he
Is it
dislodged.
shiny?
The plastic wrapping is not shiny, no.
Hmm. Is it, you said it was inside the clothing?
It's something
Wrapped?
that's in the back of the closet where the clothing is kept, and you've dislodged it by your, I'm assuming, forcefully yanking of clothing.
Oh, then he gathers that as well. Yeah.
Does he
It,
open the packaging?
does he open the packaging? Does any of the other goblins see it?
No. They don't care about you at all. They're doing their own thing.
Um,
They don't have an issue with clothing. They're letting the savior do his thing.
oh, so they're just not in the room with me?
Oh God, no. They're probably going through the larder right now.
Oh, all right. No, I think you would just gather it with the clothing, just kind of put it in like a big thing. And where did we stick that book? We stuck it in the.
You just stuck it in the pile of clothing.
Yeah. That's what I thought. And that was that in a airlock or something?
Well, so it's been moved in the year since you guys encountered the book, and I'm saying that
locked it up a little bit though.
Yeah, it's fine. We're probably never
This is
revisiting
fun,
the book,
though.
so this is how we revisit the book. The thing that you just literally found is the book wrapped in plastic.
Oh, all right. Well, I was going to put the put everything in where we had the book before. I thought it was like an airlock.
You had originally hid it in an airlock, or
Right.
I think it was it was originally like the airlock that had held the escape crafts, but they had been jettisoned. But there is escape crafts or escape pods in there now.
All right.
You
Well,
put it in an escape pod.
Oh no. Well,
And-
now we're never going back to the book.
and the escape pod with Brawl's clothing, who is no longer on the Indecision anymore, as well as Seeker's clothing, as well as the esoteric evil magical book that they found on Foundation Station is now jettisoned into space for a later plot device for me. Thanks, Not-Sob. And Justin, you are absolutely right. Secret would have hit it much better, but this was easier.
Yep.
Um,
Why did I put that idea in your head?
yeah, you shouldn't have, because I forgot about the book, which is why I'm doing this, because I'm just going to keep forgetting about the book, so it's fine. Do you guys have any questions for the goblin attendants?
When are they leaving? When can we be rid of them forever?
Well, if you successfully take over the ship as you're instructed to, they'll be on the ship, like off the Indecision and on the ship.
Good.
you're heading
I
towards.
want to do that right now.
You got like a day and a half.
What do you roll to make art?
Profession?
Well, I'm not trained in art.
I'd probably give you performance. Like, make it a performance check.
That would still be my profession.
There's no performance check.
So probably just a straight
yeah, but
intelligence
he has the profession of performance.
Yeah.
Because he's just using Rye's character sheet.
Okay. Okay.
Unless you want it to be intentionally a little bit bad, then I would
Like
just
dexterity.
say wisdom.
Well, I don't.
Do dexterity.
I don't mind. Hold on. I don't mind
And
it
dexterity.
because he is he's a robot. So maybe instead of being an actor by profession, he just has the same profession as something else. He's good at 3D printing or something weird like that. I don't know what he makes up for.
That's a good art. 3D printing.
All right. Hold on. Where is performance?
Just like art.
Why don't I have
Toe to tip?
just,
art?
just like art? All right, profession 15. All right, 26.
You've succeeded in what you're attempting to do.
So what I was doing was in a space on the ship that I have not decided yet. I've taken the liberty of spray painting a mural from one of the scenes of The Gnome and I that I could recall from my picture banks, because I felt Steviathan felt real sad and he liked Rye, so I painted a mural of Rye somewhere in the ship, probably in the biggest portion of the ship that you possibly can.
There is a so you guys are currently detached from the mech carrying unit because you had no reason to carry the mechs. The largest area then is on the bottom floor of the ship. There is a almost unused cargo area, which is just open metal plating space. It does get filled up when you guys are docked with the mech, like add-on to your ship, the mech carrier. But as of right now, this area of the ship is both exposed and completely unused.
Okay, that works.
So it can basically be as big as you want.
Actually, there's no like big hallway in, like this here on the map is just a small hallway, right?
Yeah, and that's pretty much the only hallway on the ship.
Okay, then yeah, I'll do it there.
Okay. The best part about that is, technically, if the crew only ever interacts with the ship while the mech unit is docked, they'll never see it. But as soon as they, for some reason, go into that area while the mech unit is not docked, they will encounter at some point this mural.
I can picture the reaction to the crew, everyone getting so unbelievably angry that Rye commissioned artwork in his honor, and then Rye being so honored that his crew would commission an artwork in his honor.
I think Seeker would probably both enjoy it, but then also critique it a lot.
Yeah, it would be. It almost seems mechanical in nature.
Plus, the subject matter is just like, really? Come on.
All right.
All right, guys, it's done. They're all gone. That's what we were doing, right?
What?
They're all gone.
What's gone?
He flashes Stevenson.
He flashes.
No,
yeah.
it's right there. I
Flash.
can see it. It's right there.
That's not really
It's
a
gone.
flash.
I
That's like,
can't stop looking at it. I
What's it-
know it's right there. It's not
what's it called?
gone.
Do you long-term expose something in a camera?
Long-term
Just long-term
exposure.
exposure.
The
Yeah.
aperture exposure. I think it's just exposure, isn't
Yeah,
it?
there's no flashing with not sub. It's just exposure all the time. Maybe you overexpose.
What's gone? What's done? What were you talking about?
It's
You
gone.
know what? Stevenson's clothes would have been easy to access too. You totally
Oh,
dressed
yeah.
in Stevenson's clothes too. Like absolutely.
Yeah, totally. It's gone.
What is gone? I don't know what's gone.
All of it. It's just,
All of what?
It's just.
Give me
It's this.
give me a freaking noun. All of what is gone?
What?
Neaps, the goblin with the glasses walks in. As scintillating as your conversation is, I was hoping I could have a moment of your time, Sobernaut, the savior.
Ha ha! This dwarf is a nerd. Ha ha! Adorable.
Your metal friend. He's not all right in the circuits, is he?
Should I fix them? I could fix them.
What's the point?
Just funny.
I don't mind if your friends decide to occupy space in the vicinity while I ask this question. But I wanted to know, in your time with the Alpha Gobs, I know it was limited, I think only a week, maybe? How well did you know them? They, just so you have an idea, they weren't necessarily the best of the best because they were located on Pistol, which is, kind of racist. But they were all exemplary servers. Sycophants, you might say, if you can pronounce that word better than me, I'm not sure. To
That's
the
a word.
king. And I regret not getting to know them personally.
Oh, they locked me in a room for a week, and then I got saved by Miller.
I see. Was it a room of distinction? Were they keeping you safe, possibly?
It was a box about small. He looks around the room, about smaller than this, a lot smaller. Because it was just like a little 6x6x6, right? It was just a tiny room, like a cell. Right?
It was like a hallway of like pipes that were very tightly. It wasn't really officially a room.
Hmm.
They basically just barricaded like a corner of a boiler room, and you were just kind of cramped in with a bunch of pipes.
Yeah, it was nice and small. It was comfortable, but it was small. They fed me every now and then.
But okay. Did you perchance interact with Grimjaw at all?
Did he?
In some extent, yeah.
In
I guess
some extent,
I guess
yeah.
for you guys, I'll give some exposition on it, and it'll just be Neaps kind of giving it to you. In case you don't remember, Grimjaw. He spelled it Grimejaw, but we know what he meant. He was the leader of the Alpha Gobs, and he was actually the one who told us about the ship we're going to go get. The only ship they managed to tag while they were stationed on Pyramid Station Alpha. And
Oh, yeah, that was the guy that Ryan killed. Yeah, yeah, he got him. He got two of them at least. Yeah.
Wait, Rye,
Oh yeah.
the captain of this,
Yeah.
the one you travel with.
Yeah. He's not my captain.
What happened to the rest of the Alpha Gobs?
Rye got most of them.
He's got some new enemies.
I am speechless.
Accessing data. Yes, there was a lot of vomit that day.
uh, I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah.
Rye must be some sort of goblin killing fiend.
He's something.
In fact, it shall be known, Rye, the goblin killer, captain of this vessel.
Well, I'm sure he had a perfectly good
It sounds about
reason, I'm
right to me.
sure.
Oh, a human justifying goblin slaughter. I've never
What else
heard
is
that
new?
before. All lives matter, right?
Well, I mean, he's just such a good guy. I mean, he saved me from a really crappy little hole in the wall in, you know, in Revel's stupid tech crap, whatever. Saved me.
I come by and say, I don't know this man, but here's what I have. And does Rex have some sort of like projector type thing like that
Sure.
little trash bin from Star Wars did?
Yes.
The little Klingon guy, right?
Yeah.
He has a holo projector. Sure. let's
Dobby,
go
was
with
it?
So I just start throwing up whatever information Rex had on Rye or whatever's in like the computer, whatever
I'll
he
give
had
you
picked
one
up.
better. Rye is known for being a live streamer, right? He streams liches and lasers from his room, an online game that he enjoys, and
Mhm.
he has his own little streaming side job. A lot of what he talks about when he's streaming has nothing to do with the game he's playing, but rather all the things that have happened to him, or like, it's always to him. It's always about him. And he has
Some of the
definitely
good things
gotten
he does.
snippets of him talking about killing the goblins. I don't know how Rye would have given it on his stream though. Would he have bragged about her, or would he have lamented about it?
I think knowing Rye more realistically,
Mhm.
he'd still be dry heaving at the thought of it.
All right. So basically, the hologram you pop up is like
I feel like he'd try to make himself out to be the
But-
hero, though.
So that's the other thing. Both of these things. So I don't know. I think that was before he was streaming. So at this point in time, maybe he would be like reminiscing about it.
Sure.
Like, oh yeah, this level reminds me of this one time where I dispatched vermin, because that was the term in,
It was.
in the I was about to say in the ticket in the job, when I was attacked and whatnot. So yeah, he would probably be doing that and just being like, I'm just sometimes I don't know my own strength.
That's out of context. That's just a clip. You're just playing. You didn't see the whole thing. That's out of context. Don't read into that.
That's pretty accurate. I was there.
What's funny is as I was saying that, I was about to say I bring up a clip from Lasers and Liches, and then I was like, all right. But there's also like pulls up various videos of him from like the Gnome and I, where he's culturally appropriating the role of a gnome. Another little race in the world. But there's good things too. There have to be.
Yeah, but that's not what Rex plays. Neaps, seeing this, speechless, walks out of the room and will not talk to any of you for the remaining day and a half.
That's all right.
So, if you guys
he's
have
not my captain.
if you have any questions, you can talk to Croy. Yeah, Croy's
Hashtag not
his name.
my captain.
He's not my captain, as he goes and makes himself very comfortable in the captain's chair.
Do you guys have anything for Croy?
Nope.
Not Sob wouldn't.
Okay. The ship will be an absolute Goram disaster by the time the party gets back to it. You guys
Except
did
for the
nothing to
girl.
staunch the flow of horribleness. You offended the only one that wasn't really screwing with things, so you know he's peeing on things now. And yeah, he's like angry sharding in the corners.
beer almost came out my nose.
I saw Chris out of the corner of my eye going for the sip. So, yep. Sorry.
All I can think of is Dustin with his angry whopper, but I mean that's an
After
inside
party,
joke.
after party.
Yeah. That is an after party. 10:30 p.m.
I'll tell you that joke in the after party. Yeah. More incentive to hang around.
Yeah, the ship is like disgusting. People are missing clothes. A priceless artifact has gone missing, and I will fast forward for the rest of it because I don't think Corey wouldn't have anything special for you guys. He's not that kind of goblin. You guys eventually get a blip on the science officer station and on the pilot's chair in regards to a vessel located in the drift. It is approximately at the coordinates you were told and directed to. And as you pull up, you are welcomed by, like, if you look at the forward viewports, the drift itself is like chaotic looking. While it is void, it's almost as if the entire thing is one giant nebula of just different colors. There's no form or shape to the colors. It's always as if the background is painted. It's not like gases, like real nebula, but it's like no matter how far you go, it basically looks like the back of our overlay right now. Which is to say, like pink, light purple, light blue hues, and it's always just out of touch. Now, set against this backdrop, a massive military vessel. And when I say military, I mean like it is armed for war. There are visible large cannons, visible areas for smaller ships to dock in and out of. It is a long warship. It is a dreadnought class ship, which for Starfinder actual view, it's considered gargantuan in size, and it is about a little bit more than 10,000 feet in length. This thing is massive. And as you approach the broad, what was that?
That's a couple miles in
Yeah,
length.
this is a ship that goes on, and it is a major military vessel. It actually looks, despite just being out here alone in the drift, really brand new. In fact, it is not moving. If you guys were to throw up a scan of it, which I won't make you do, you get some life forms. There's based on the size of the ship, you'd expect there to be thousands of crew members. You're pulling up, I think, 6. There are 6 living things aboard this starship. It is not moving, and the powers to all of the different systems are extremely limited. And as you approach the broadside, there is some paint, like, nice stylized font that just says the infinitum.
Oh, bringing it all back.
Which, since Patrick doesn't remember, and I assume some of our viewers do not either, the infinitum was
Where we
the
started.
session 0, pre-episode 1 of Starfinder. The ship that the party lost and got them expelled from the Pyramid Station, or the Pyramid Station Alpha Border Space Union Military Academy, which is where our campaign actually picked up, was them having been expelled for a month. The infinitum was the cause of this, and they have arrived at this modern BSU vessel floating out in the fringes of the drift. What do you guys do as you approach the ship?
Hey, isn't that the ship that guys are, framed for, and pretty much the reason why we're all here?
No, this is the ship that we're going to take over.
Yeah, but it's also what I said, though.
It can't be two things.
Yeah, it can.
No.
Were you not Saab at one point, and were you not Saab at one? We've already gone through this back in
Saab or not.
Yeah, we've already gone through this. Just because you're Saab or not now doesn't mean that you weren't Saab before. So that means that this ship, it doesn't have to be just. You know what? Just give this to me. Just.
Croy lays a knobby knuckled hand on Rex's metal shoulder. I would just not listen to this discussion. I'm still not sure if that is Saab or not. That meatbag never helps despite explaining. I would even say hume-splaining.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
it's a waste of time. All right, listen to me. Do not listen to them.
Is this goblin an an SJW? Is that just like what you made him?
All of Serap's goblins are SJWs. Every single one.
Oh boy.
They're a special crew.
Oh boy.
Serap's
So,
actually the
yeah,
one.
we're gonna take this one over because that's what the prophecy says, I guess.
Because that makes sense. Us
It does.
4, 5. Is there 5? There's 5 of us. Yeah. Us 5 are gonna go in there and take that whole ship over. I know there's only 6 things in there.
There's 6
But-
things in there. That's more than I can count.
I have
Well,
to canonically.
you're glad I'm around then.
I have to canonically reissue something. SGWs.
SGW.
Per Nick,
Yeah.
our lovely special guest cast member now, his status, I mentioned in the chat.
So
Sorry, continue. I didn't. That was worth interrupting, but I apologize.
That just sounds like social goblin warrior. That just sounds like a bashy goblin with a good charisma score.
Or is it Gobstis? Gobstis.
I don't know what that
Anyway,
means.
I don't know. Just
Rex
Justice Goblin.
Rex wheels
Upstairs.
into the room, hearing all this banter, and goes, "I don't know what you all are talking about, but I just feel I'm programmed to be helpful.
Yeah, I programmed you that way.
Checking databanks."
It's not there.
And he just keeps staring off into the distance, and his lights fade a little bit. His eyes just.
So we should go take it over.
I don't know what you guys are all talking about, but I just feel like I was programmed to be helpful.
Mhm.
Helpful.
Yeah. So let's.
That gets all these fine people off the ship. Then yes, let's just go. Let's go. I don't want to do this, but
Which ones are the fine people?
Not Sub raises his hand.
Yeah, that one and the other 2.
No, just me.
I mean, I'm a fine person, but that's
No,
not who I'm
just
referring
me.
to.
I've been.
Just me.
Huh. The only information I have to go off of are the journal entries that I've hacked from Rise computer.
Ooh, do go on.
No,
go
that's
on.
boring.
He speaks positively of.
I pull up my
Stevathan.
recorder. Yes.
He speaks positively of Stevathan and himself. Also,
Override,
Himself.
delete journal entries. Miller taught me that one.
I'm just going off of my memory. I'm no longer in his journal. Which one's the smelly rat?
There are 2. Wait, no, I didn't say that.
He looks over. He looks over at What are the 2? Which one's the one I've already angered?
Neaps will no longer look or talk to you.
Then
But
what's
he's in
the
the
other
room.
one?
Croy is the other one.
Okay. I look over at Croy, and I just go, "I'm unfamiliar with you. Are you the smelly one?"
I mean,
Are you the one who likes to fight?
what of it?
Are you the one who charges headfirst into battle without thinking about anything or anyone?
What, because I'm a goblin?
You guys are goblins? Are you the smelly one?
Oi. I don't know why I'm giving him the Irish now. It's now a force of habit. I got to stop that. Are we taking this thing over or not?
Are we taking this thing over?
Hold on.
Are we Sob or not?
Well, I wouldn't say he smells good. So, yeah, fine, sure. If it gets you to keep going, then yes.
Oh,
That's
Like
the
most
one.
SGWs, he does not bathe.
oh. He looks back over at him and, Oh, yes, he has a lot written about you. How he thinks he can help you. If only you could stop and think about the important things in life, like friendship and family. That you've clearly had a troubled past and he's trying to get to know you better.
How does he know me?
That he's
You're talking to Croy, right? Not the offended
under
one.
the impression that Croy thinks he thinks Croy is Brawl.
Okay, it's fine. Just let me show Croy. He looks over at Neaps. And this was Rye, the Goblin Killer. Sounds like a saint.
He is, though. He really is.
According to one of the entries, he's planning on attempting to give you a healthy output of your excess energies by training you in the art of cooking and acting.
He stole my gun.
I've always been jealous of Wen.
That's right.
Wen, his playwright cousin, mentioned last week.
And then,
guys, you have less than an hour to figure out the rest of the plot. So if we want to,
I'm trying to move it.
Same.
I'm simply.
I really am trying to move it.
Hey, we're doing what Patrick usually does. Like,
are you?
Okay, I'm going. I'm going. We're going right now.
Or you're boarding the ship.
Yes.
Pick one.
We're boarding the ship.
There's no hailing the ship. You're just going.
I don't think anybody knows how to.
Well,
That's
actually,
literally Stevenson's one job.
Ooh,
yeah,
I've got this.
I've
got this. I've got the talkie bits because I'm using Rye's character sheet.
Hail them.
Stevenson pushes the annoying at this point robot out of the way and hails them.
There's a big giant button that says hail.
And
I
it's a big
press that one.
Bush.
It's hail, like it's actually a picture of
Hail.
yeah, it's a picture of like
H-A-L-E.
falling ice. That's what it is. He doesn't do words. Come on. I need to find my sheet. It takes a couple of minutes. It's like your message is kind of processing. And then over the video screen comes up. Let's see, which one of these guys would be the one at the probably not him. Probably not you. Yeah, fine. A goblin with one ear clearly broken. So goblins have like the football, like Hey Arnold shaped heads with pointy ears per Pathfinder, Starfinder. This goblin's one of his ears is just cracked straight in half. It hangs, it's still there, but it's like one is like up and one is like just down. He is like on screen pulling a bottle of some viscous looking fluid away from his face, running a clawed little hand across his lips, and he says, "Who's that?"
What kind of noise was that?
Hello, is this thing on?
That was in person. That was in character.
Oh, could only one of you get on the screen right now? Jesus, so many of you.
Is that another goblin? Can I talk to him?
Yeah, what's the guy look like?
Can I?
He is a older looking goblin, a little bit more of a lined face, a broken ear, and drunk off of his gourd.
Is it a goblin?
Yes. He looks like a goblin, yeah.
Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi.
Could you stop moving?
What? Hi. Hello.
Hi.
What?
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 No, what?
I asked first.
Drop knock.
Sob. Or not.
Sob or not.
Yeah. We're coming on. Hello.
Coming on.
We're going on your boat. Okay. That's fine.
But not to me.
Not to you.
Okay.
The ship. Your ship.
Fine. Just leave me alone.
All right. We got clearance.
I don't know Clarence, but I'll see you.
It's just something I heard. All right.
I'll see. Oh wait, hold. I I gotta do the thing. He like lazily drags his hand in front of a keyboard in front of him. You can hear some clicking and clacking. Whichever one of the things just lit up. See you there.
All right.
Are you naked? Boom, the phone
Yes.
call ends. Like towards the front of the ship, one of the many like clear open docking bays lights up a bit and like has like these like lights projected out into space, forming a kind of space runway.
I did that.
Congrats.
Um,
Good job.
put us over there.
I do it.
You guys bring the indecision into the ship. You follow along the guided docks. Give me a quick piloting check to see if you botch the landing.
15.
You botched the landing.
Nah, the ship's not moving. That's fine. I really wanted a low number. You managed to land it, not quite as gracefully as Zero always does. Like it skids a little bit, but you're all right. You're on the landing structure. The gate goes down, the ramp goes down. You are met by a single solitary goblin
Is
who
the
looks
same
like
one?
he has just been sprinting.
the same
As well
one?
as drinking, because the alcohol is like just all over his like mechanic uniform, which is not cut for a goblin, all over his like snarling lips, and he is wheezing and trying to drink in between the wheezes as he runs into the hangar.
Oh,
True
sprint
story.
drinking. That's a good.
Chris? True story. Chris and I have proven that you can sprint and drink simultaneously while trying to catch a bus in Boston.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah,
And an after party story, you
Yes,
bastard.
definitely an after party story.
just mentioning it.
So, is it the same goblin?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it's the broken ear goblin who had referred to himself as Draknok.
Hello, Draknok.
Who's there?
Or not? And he kind of sobs or saunters up to him, and again tries to go for the handshake. Just kind of claps twice and spits in his face.
Oh, what the what? He vomits all over the place.
Sobernaut vomits as well. He's thinking it's part of the whole greeting.
Ethan's about ready to throw up himself because that's just gross.
According to my memory
I
bank,
can't look at this. I'm gonna look away.
So,
Rex
we're here
recalls his
now.
memory banks and sees images of Rye constantly dry heaving and goes, "Huh? Apparently, this is normal."
I didn't expect there to be so many of you.
No.
I should have. Oh no! I should have told. I should have told Igor.
No, it's fine. We're here.
gonna
We're
get
only
in trouble.
here to take the ship. It's fine.
The ship?
The ship, yeah. That's why we're here. The king sent me.
But not,
He
but
said
not
I
the
was the
booze?
chosen one.
I don't really understand what you're saying.
I know.
But you're not gonna touch my booze.
Okay.
Perception check. Oh yeah, it's fine. Not Rex. Rex, you don't get it.
Oh,
A nat 20 with a 38.
At
Sure.
20.
You both nat 20?
No, I just got 20.
Oh, gotcha. It's not an exciting check. He's not drinking alcohol. It's like ship antifreeze or something.
Gross. Is that
I
why
will
he's
allow
blind?
you to perceptify a little bit more than I was planning on, though. He is to get a little bit more of his look. While he is in a not cut for him uniform, like it's like an engineer's uniform with a name tag that says like Mike or something. It's like really baggy, BSU normal colors, which I think are white and black at this point. I might have changed it again. It's fine. Where you can see of the goblin skin, it's a little emaciated. And either he is just a really unfortunate goblin, like low on the pecking order, or you can kind of maybe correlate that there may be some supply issues on the ship because it looks like he hasn't eaten in days. With you not threatening his booze stash, he decides this is too much for him, and Draknok begins to stumble away.
Wait,
Hi, Draknok.
well, wait, hold on. Why are you guys in this ship? What happened?
I'm just here to help.
It's our ship now.
Who else is on there?
It's our ship. I just took it.
But you're not touching my booze.
I'm not touching your booze. I'm touching the ship. See, it's mine.
I'm gonna let someone else handle this one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go take a lie down.
Who else would handle it?
You know what? Right here looks great. He just lays down on the metal cold floor of this little hangar you guys are in.
Good night, little buddy.
Doing anything to the unconscious Draknok?
Patting him on the head and moving on.
What do the other goblins do?
Roy and Neaps had hung to the back of your group while you guys were addressing the goblin. And as he kind of lays down, they finally come out from behind. We'll say Rex. They're hiding behind Rex. They kind of show their faces. They come over. Croy
I did
kicks.
not see you guys there.
Croy straight up kicks Draknok in the head.
You don't have to do
Draknok
that.
snores. And Neaps says, "Yes, we'll let this one slumber. He's actually quite capable with explosives, so I'd rather we not piss him off. If you guys want to just, slit his throat now, that would be my recommendation. But I know you have a Hume with you, so you know."
Well, I mean, if that's what you want to do, I mean, I don't care what happens to these people because you guys are fighting them, right? I mean,
he let us on board.
You guys are against them? Is that it? Like,
well, they used to work for the Goblin King himself, but they took over the ship.
Yeah, now we're taking over the ship.
And they didn't want to give it up.
And I probably...
Okay, well, that sounds like you could probably kill him if you wanted to.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I wouldn't, but if you want to...
You hear a robotic version of a dry heave come from Rex. And he goes, "Oh, I'm not sure what that was about, but this personality seems to not like the idea of combat." Combat.
It's like a digitized vomit noise too.
Yes.
Given the go-ahead from Stevathan, Neaps has already pulled out a dagger and is about to pull it across the sleeping goblin's throat. Does anyone actually go to stop him?
Sabernot just goes, "Well, if you kill him, you're just as bad as Rye."
Drops the knife. Drops the knife.
I mean, he's sleeping. At least Rye killed him when he was awake.
I'm beginning to understand why they call you the savior.
I'm not.
He says, "Croy, lead the way." Croy does take point, and as he's kind of leading you guys through the ship, or at least out of this hangar area, he says, "The rest of the goblins are not likely to be as easy as Draknok was. These were the Goblin King Serap's elite warriors."
Okay. Well, he didn't hit me, so he's okay. We had a really, really good conversation.
There was like 2 words in that
It
conversation.
was the best. I don't know how many.
I don't even know if you can call that a conversation.
Ron Swanson, we still sometimes never talk.
We still sometimes never talk.
Rex looks over at the goblins and just says, "Please clarify. Why are you calling him the savior? I've got all of Rye's journal entries, and he has many nicknames for the Naked One."
Because I'm naked.
None of them are
That's
sacred.
why.
None of them
The
are very
Naked
good.
One is the most sacred. Excuse you. There is prophecy, and it names him thusly.
Because
Okay.
I'm Sob. Or not.
I hate to agree, but actually there is some kind of prophecy. I don't know who made it up, but there was prophecy, and that's just how it is.
Let's go take the ship.
Yep. Get this over with, please. I don't want to be here anymore.
Croy at the head. one point of warning: they're gonna recognize Neaps and I, as we are the king's closest attendants.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
And put a hood
Wait a
on or
minute.
something.
Wait a minute. What rooms are nearby? Are there any rooms where I might find anything that will change cosmetics? Because I have disguise
Let's see. I said you guys got
and an
close to the
aptitude for
front.
art. If you haven't noticed, I've picked up a few things from a couple of the other personalities on the ship.
Yep.
Where are you guys heading? Are you guys heading towards the fore of the ship, which is where traditionally the command center would be, or the aft, which is where maybe like crew quarters would be? The
I don't
ship
know. I'm
is shaped
following because I just want to be helpful.
basically like a penis, like every other spaceship in existence. So it's a long shaft with a well-defined head and
Well,
a
I mean, I
slightly
think this
wider
goes to reason.
aft end.
Sabernot would follow his own, so right to the head.
That just matters if he was looking forward when he did that. Technically,
Well, I
he came
guess
in
he is.
Okay. Let's see.
Why are we going up now?
We're just going around in circles. He's got a curve.
Broke Chris.
So the way the ship is laid out is it is basically just a long hallway. There are some side hallways that'll get you into similarly long hallways. It's basically like if you guys have ever been in New York, like the city proper is laid out in a grid. The hallways of the spaceship are basically a grid, and they are labeled hallway A, B, C, and D. There are floors for them. There are 3 floors or main primary floors for the ship. So there's A1, A2, A3, A4.
Let me correct. Can I find any personal items that
No.
could be used to affect their look?
No. Well, so you guys pass in this hallway. I'm trying to set the scene a little bit so people know what you're walking. It's very, very plain and bland. It is a basic, like a sparse military sci-fi. That's what I'm trying to pick for you. You pass. The only thing that looks remotely useful to you is there is a command hygiene unit.
Okay. I take the command hygiene unit.
It's a room. It's a unit, like a little pod area that you can enter that has hygiene items.
I bring them into the hygiene room.
Mm-hmm.
And I attempt to corral goblins as best as you can to see what I can do about cleaning them up and making them look different.
Their resistance
Does that include Sabernot? Or just the other 2?
Well, they said they would
Just the
only
other 2.
recognize
Oh, just the other 2. Okay. Then never mind.
They won't go for any kind of cleaning. In fact, one of them pulls a knife on you when you suggest it, but you could like layer them in something.
Yeah, I can make them dirtier. That's fine.
Like, no, like you can pull out like
Put a cloak on them. Put your hoods up or whatever you got. I don't know.
So it's a hygiene unit.
Okay, well,
you find adhesive pads, and I'm just going to describe them thusly as adhesive pads that if you chose, you could stick them to them pretty easily and obscure their features.
Okay, so I do that. I got a nat 20 plus 13, so 33 on my disguise roll. I would say I'm going to take a guess as to how a vein goblin would be, and I cover the eye of the nerdy one. No, the fighty one. And I draw crudely an eyeball onto the patch that I placed over his eye. I cover up any like weird marks or scars, and then crudely draw over them other features. Like I replace a mole with a scar and a scar with a mole, and it looks like it looks like a goblin job, but like, you know what I mean?
Reversed.
That actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, and as you're drawing on these menstrual pads that you've stuck to their faces and made them look like a version of a mummy with some art on it, one of the pads does say Spaxy pad on it on the top of Neap's head. And they are very well disguised. I'm picturing like the burned
like
man
an authentic
from Fallout with some artistic flair.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
You've
disguised them thusly, and you guys are heading towards the command module of the ship.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
get
Let's see. Is there anything else that would maybe stand out to you guys as you head up there? You are not encountering anyone. You're not encountering any signs of struggle or dead bodies or anything. It's just clean looking ship, except like the layer of grime and dust that's coating everything. And some areas are, I guess, would probably have a little bit more grime than not. And the path to the command center is basically like straightforward. There is like a communications bay off to the side, but I don't think you guys would head for there. There's a whole wing for navigation, which I don't think you'd head for there. But you guys do arrive at the cockpit, and the doors, which is like a double blast door, is both shut and locked.
So, Cybernaut now has his junk pistol in hand. You've never seen him hold his junk pistol or even at his side. You have no idea where he actually got it from. But he looks at it and looks at the door and goes, hmm? And points
Wait,
at the door.
let me wait.
Hmm?
Try opening it first.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you were able to do something to Rex, maybe you can help me hack this. I don't know. I haven't really learned too much yet, but I can give it a shot.
That's not fun. All right.
Yeah, but it is also not loud.
All right. So he tries to hack the door.
Well, so you don't have a hacker's kit, but do an engineering check on Rex. Rex, do an opposed engineering check as not
got a 36.
Insides. And I will have Stevenson do a computers check utilizing Rex as a de facto hacking tool.
Ugh, I got 16. I rolled really bad.
That's okay to lock the door, but what's your engineering check from
Yeah,
Rex
34.
is opposed. Wait, you're trying to tinker with Rex?
Oh yeah.
Did I miss here? Oh.
So I got a 34.
I got a 23.
All right. All he does basically is he pulls out a couple of your wires and plugs them into the door frame itself, and like pulls a piece of like your like input screen like towards like he spins you over so Stevenson can boop the boops and you guys break through it's not like this wasn't in lockdown, it was just sealed.
This is kind of weird because you don't have a blurple button anywhere, so I don't know what.
It's that one right there, and he points to a random button.
True glitching voice is here. What in the world is blurple?
The cockpit door opens, and immediately two goblinoid figures spin around. The cockpit is, we'll just call it Star Trek. There's like a command center. It's open concept. There are a couple of stations on the perimeter of the room, but most of those are like the leisure stations. If you were in like a command, you'd go to one of the other wings. Or sorry, if you were in battle, you'd go to one of the other wings. The only two goblins, one in what would be the commander's chair, which is the very first chair, and one in the pilot's chair. The middle chair, which is directly in front of the captain's chair. Let me pull up my description sheets. The one in the captain's chair is a goblin with more gray skin versus green, notable mostly by the decorations this goblin has put on themselves, which is usually in the forms of piercings, both through their ears, through their nose, through their lips, and through their cheeks, sure, of other species bones. Maybe you see some rat bones in there, maybe you see some goblin bones, but there's definitely some other bones mixed in there where they've just pierced themselves, different bits of jagged bones.
That's gross.
The
Not
other goblin
at all.
The goblin in the pilot's station. Oh, and wearing a goblinoid space helmet, which is just literally a fishbowl, which is not attached to the suit, which is like fur. They're wearing like a fur vest or something. And I'll say at least Saber not recognizes this as a female goblin. Actually, both goblins in there were female. The other one is in a. This goblin looks much better put together, which is to say, like clean and aware and very laser focused when they look at you with their kind of glowing, beady red eyes. The thing that stands out to them is their clothing is actually fit to the goblin, jet black and skin tight.
Hello.
Okay, your opening volley is hello from
Hello.
the naked. Okay.
I wheel out ahead of people and look around, look at the captain. How may I help you?
She brandishes something that she whips out of her fur robe, which looks very much like it's probably a magic wand, or at least it's supposed to look like a magic wand. She bares her teeth, which have all been filed to points even pointier than regular goblin teeth, and she hisses, You can tell me what names I'm putting on your gravestones.
Sob or not?
Now, hold on, is it Sob or not?
It's Sob or not? Not Sob. It's
And
Sob.
you? She points at the rest of you.
Stevenson, I don't want to be here.
He doesn't want to be here.
It's a long name. Next. Points to Rex.
Hi, I'm new. We're
Okay.
here to help.
That's
I
partially
just
correct.
want to help.
And as you're giving your kind of like your slightly slower than everyone else speech pattern, the other two goblins wearing the pads frantically start scratching at your metal. Do not give her your name. And she begins to cluck her tongue, and she puts away the wand and says, I have at least one of you.
Which one?
My name is Igor Notab. I am the commander of this majestic goblinoid vessel,
Mm-hmm.
and you are all trespassing.
No. We are all here to take the ship.
From behind,
Baton
the more
Rouge?
professional-looking goblin.
We're here to take the ship from behind.
That means they're invaders.
No. We're here just to take the ship. Yeah. We were sent here by the king of all goblins. Have you ever met him? He is
She puts
a
one finger to a
lovely
nostril
person.
and blows snots at the mention of the Goblin King.
Sovereign does the exact same thing. Nice to meet you.
The king of goblins knows
Yes.
nothing.
Oh,
He is focused on the material world and material things.
he said that
He
I
doesn't
was.
understand what this vessel truly represents, and he cannot have it.
He
You
said I was.
cannot have it.
He said I was the chosen one. I am Sub, or not.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You are, in
I am.
fact, very naked
Yes.
and cold.
No,
He has
it's
an extra
kind of
finger.
nice. I do have an extra finger.
No, it's always that small. Don't worry about it.
It's always. I guess it's always that. Well, sometimes it's not.
That's true.
Perception check, please. Awful bastards.
28.
18.
Working on it. 19.
Sabernot notices that Silopana, oops, didn't give you that name yet. The sneaky looking goblin, the more professional one,
Annapolis?
pushes a button. Pushes a button underneath the console.
Don't do that.
Already did.
Oh, well, I don't want to use this. And he looks at his gun. I don't.
Stevenson is like behind the door, by the way, kind of like peeking out. Whole time, kind of taking cover.
So I did make this myself, and I used all the teachings that Miller taught me, and Miller is pretty cool. He knows a lot about this. He shows the gun.
She puts her hands to her mouth, speaks a word quietly. I'll have you all give me another perception check for that. Sure. Sorry that this is a separate check, but it's a different instance.
31.
23.
Oh, nat one.
Everyone but Stevenson hears this, and she says, Stevenson. And she actually
Meet
stands
you.
up on the commander's chair, holds arms open wide. She's, again, particularly underdressed, other than the fact that she has a helmet on. She's just got furs, like matted garments, and bones pierced throughout her skin. Go ahead and shoot.
I don't really want to.
Immediate reaction to seeing her go like this. Rex mimics the action and starts approaching for a hug.
Okay. Did you say not sub shoots?
I'm not subshoots.
Make an attack roll. And roll damage with it because you're very likely to hit.
17.
Yeah, hits.
And you said it was a 1d8, right?
Yes.
For the modified one? All right.
Yep.
And I'm level 6.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so half of that is 3. 5.
Stevenson, while it's more impactful to your stamina than actual any damage, you feel as if you've just been punched in the gut by a severe force of nothing. You don't see anything. It's just a physical like movement, and it aches, it hurts. As the blast hits Silipana, damn it, that's not Silipana, that's Igor Notab, directly in the chest. Where you see the blast hit is about the vicinity of where the pain is on Stevenson, and she stands unarmed. None of you guys are magical, but there is an item hanging from her neck that glows faintly as she is struck.
Oh, why am I always the one that gets hurt? Oh, jeez.
I got her.
And if I'm not mistaken, Naps. And what was the other one? The stupid one?
Sob, or not.
Sob or not. I meant the other one in the diapers.
I don't wear diapers.
I go in for the hug.
Stevenson looks at the other two. Why didn't you tell us that she could do this?
Could you make
what even happened?
Could you make a grapple check?
Oh God, I don't. Here's a 20. You figure out the math.
Yeah, roll a d20.
I think I'd add something to that.
What was the dice?
8.
8?
Yeah.
Her dice is a 19, so whatever. We won't worry about the full math, but I'm sure it's better than that. She definitely like slips out of your hug and holds up one bony and boned finger.
Well, it would be just a regular melee basic attack against her.
But plus an obscene
plus
number,
8,
so it's excessively 8. High anyway.
Yeah.
You're right, it wasn't a roll. I'm sorry, but that still would not have hit.
That's okay. It wasn't an attack, but that's fine.
Well,
it would have ultimately have been one, and that's fair. I'm saying from his mindset, he did not just attack.
No, it's totally fair. She just nimbly avoids the hug. I have a proposition for you instead. You may wait for my crew to come and blast you from behind.
Heh.
Or you can take a message to your Goblin King for me.
No.
Let's do that one. I like that one, actually. Can we do that one instead?
The message is this. She turns around, bends over, and pulls down the fur pantaloons.
Didn't want to see that.
Do you remember how I said sometimes?
Sometimes what?
He said.
We need to not.
Oh yeah, we need to not go there.
So eloquently done. Oh God. She turns around, physically winces, and then I'm just gonna say that's when the rest of her crew comes in behind you. Drocknock arrives stumbling, as well as 3 other goblins, two male, 1 female, wearing better armor, like actual armor with helmet attached appropriately, and carrying their own slightly nicer lasers. They're not their junk lasers. They do seem to be appropriated from the ship itself. They're BSU issued lasers, laser pistols specifically.
Are they all emaciated? Is it just
yeah, you guys have done enough perception checks. They're all emaciated, although it looks kind of normal on Igor.
So
Drocknock.
Stevenson's just gonna be like, wait, everybody, wait. How long?
We didn't touch your alcohol. They did.
How long have you guys been on this ship?
Igor, being the voice of the group, we've been here for maybe 6 months.
And I mean, you guys don't look so good. Have you been like, do you not have anything to eat?
We do now.
During this conversation, Rex
I
kind of
mean,
slowly approaches Steviathan and pinches him.
ow, why? Why?
Looks over at Igor.
Igor.
Because I mean, well,
Any reaction?
hey, huh? We could like
No effect.
we could bring you. We can bring you food. Like not me, not us, but I mean, like we can bring you somewhere where you can get food, and actually like eat and survive and be happy and free.
Pinches again, much harder.
Not yet. you're missing something, but that's okay.
Me?
Yes. One of the other goblins who came up behind you, one of the male goblins carrying a rifle. I'm just gonna say they're generic looking, more so because they've got full helmets on. They're kind of like being fogged up by their goblin breath. He approaches and says, just takes a step forward and he says, "You said take us? Can you get the ship moving?"
I can certainly try.
I
I got our ship here, so I might be able to do something.
checking memory banks. I recall something from a post in the journal from Rye that I accessed, and diplomatically, I guess, or whatever check you want, say, why, yes, we have, in fact, the finest pilot in the world. Just the best. Any world. You pick the world, we have the best one. You wouldn't believe how good our pilot is.
It's fake news, bro. But go ahead and that's not quite
It's not a-
diplomacy. That's a bluff.
Yeah, well, it's not a bluff because that's
Talking about
that's
Zero.
like verbatim from. Yeah, he's talking about Zero verbatim from Rye, Rye's journals.
Zero's not there.
But they're gonna take it as a bluff.
It's a bluff. Roll
Okay.
bluff. It's like probably the same freaking thing for you, anyways.
No, it's better for bluff.
I'm not being mean. It's just that the nature of it is
He's
bluff.
better at lying than telling the truth.
What'd you roll?
How's a 15 sound? I rolled a 15.
Roll the 7, and they're awful at this. So,
Thank God.
well, let me give. I'm actually going to give. That's the masses. I am going to give Igor her own roll. Nope, she is also. She stands down. She pops up off of the chair. Make sure her pants are resituated. Casting not
Only
solitary look.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think you can get this boat moving?
Well,
maybe we can be in business.
Maybe if not the boat, I mean, I might be able to get some parts of it moving. Let me take a look. 'Cause, it's a little bit easier to actually move is the escape pods. They're really easy to pilot.
Go ahead and make a bluff check. Although, well, no, I'm going to say in that end, you've not quite hit the thing. The goblin in like the black skin tight suit approaches Stevenson, leaving her console, and says, "You misunderstand, meatbag. We're not leaving the ship."
I know. I'm just saying it's easier to move those. Okay, all right. Let me just take a look. I try to move the ship. No, it's not something I'm used to, but. Huh?
Only systems that are on are life support, which is on like reserve power, so it's not very good. Everything else for the most part is off. Like gravity is fine, but like anything outside of life support is non-functional.
Sabernaut raises a hand.
Yes. I'm Sabernaut.
Sabernaut, yes. I was trained by Miller to be in the engineering room. I can turn on the power and turn on power to the engines.
Very, very big ship. There's probably like, I mean, go ahead, try it, but it's not quite what we're used to here.
Engineering would require you to take like a tram back. It would take some time, like literally, like it would be a distance. Additionally, and I don't know for sure if Notzab would know this or not, but the engineering room on a vessel this size would require more than one person to manipulate areas.
He wouldn't, but he'd take the, what is it, Draknab?
What's conquered backwards?
Jacor Noir.
Draknok.
Draknok. He's gonna take Draknok anyway. I can probably figure it out. I just need him, and takes Draknok.
I'll let you take Draknok and my friend Revnet as well. Don't go to engineering. You'll be going below decks, below this cockpit, as a matter of fact, and you'll be working in the systems, as that is where our issue is. Additionally, I need to bind and gag these two idiots. And
That's
she
fine.
points to Croy and Neaps.
But well, they were my followers.
They can follow you just as well bound and gagged.
Can they? Interesting. He says as he walks out of the room.
Croy and Neaps know better than to struggle in this instance, and they are bound with, I don't know, duct tape. Who cares? You are working your way below decks as Stevenson sits into the pilot's chair and tries to pull up anything in terms of command console.
Praise to
And
whatever gods there are.
the
/CMD.
Yeah.
what pops up is actually not a general or a normal activation protocol. It looks like hacked together software loading and half booting, and it's like leaving like little defragged portions on the screen, which turns from blue to like a red sheen, and a pre-recorded video pops up. It is the face of a goblin that Stevenson does not recognize. It is a very severe but younger male goblin. We'll say notably with some teeth missing, and when he talks, he whistles a little bit. And he says, "Unless you're one of us, you got nothing here." For folks in our audio, he flipped off the camera. It is pre-recorded, so that repeats, like, and it kind of defrags a little bit, and it repeats. We'll call it every 30 seconds. I've done that before with
Yeah.
with our last dungeon, so I didn't
Yeah.
want to do it again.
Okay. All right. Try to get around that. Clicky clicky. Doing the computer
check.
things. Do you want to give me? Yeah. Nat 1. I got 15.
2 nat 1s in a row.
Yeah. And that's my second. Oh, not only that, but Pat got one too.
Yeah, I got a nat 1 a while ago.
So you are not able to bypass the security. Every time you enter a key that is like erroneous and doesn't trigger anything new, it just repeats the video and it moves up that 30-second timer.
Would I have been able to take a 10?
You could have taken a 10 with time, would not quite have done it. What's a 20 get you with your bonus?
20?
Well,
that gets me 34.
34?
Yeah.
You're not quite there yet. When you guys, so we'll say the engineering crew gets on down, which is Notsob and the two goblins of Revnet and Draknok. When you get below the cockpit, you see that some of the panels in the ceiling, which would be the floor of the cockpit, have been pulled out, and some wires have been pulled out, and some other kind of like access units. And it looks like this room below, which we will say is, I don't think I have the second floor mapped out. Well, something. It's another room in the ship. But it looks like a hot mess because it almost looks like Cthulhu's coming from the ceiling because of all the wires that have just been pulled out, and the multicolored. Some of them have been stripped a little bit. There's like some smoke sizzling off in the corner too. It looks
this is exactly how I learned how to do this. I can do this, no problem.
And Draknok does not speak anymore because he's still kind of drooling. Revned, the little bit more forward male, says, "We've been trying to get around this stupid virus for months, and we thought, if we just pulled some cords out and then tried it again and then plugged them back in, we'd eventually find something that worked." And
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
We've gotten, I'm not so good with the numbers per se, but about, if there was this many wires in the room,
that is like
to
a lot of numbers.
This many, and he holds up 10 fingers to about one finger.
That is not a lot of numbers. Okay.
Signifying that they've probably got about 10% of the wires in the room because this bad boy is wired to all hells, and what they're doing is insane.
All right. So let's see if I can put this back together. What do I do? Engineering, computers.
It'd be engineering. Let's do an engineering check, see if you can get it kind of put back together a bit.
First is a 23.
23. You're able to see that the effort to actually put things like away would, or and like repair them would take days. However, it does seem that everything is plugged in a functional way. It's just that for any kind of extenuated use, like this would need to be looked at immediately. This ship should not be taken on any long trips or into battle or anything like that, because like a bad bump will probably set something off.
Well, maybe. Let's see. How about you go over there and start putting that wire together? And he just kind of randomly points to one of the bound goblins.
All right. I'm going to start asking Justin to do some things. Every time I ask something new, roll me a d20. If you roll a nat 20, you'll trigger something.
Okay.
Because there's literally no check that fixes it from here, but I will say if you jiggle the jangle, maybe you'll fix it. However, as you're adjusting things, do you like how are you communicating with the floor above?
Communicating with who?
The floor above, like as you're doing things to see if it works.
All right, Meat Shield. I am about to put the blurple wire next to the I don't know, the one that looks like blood.
All right,
Those
so you
are
have
good
Stevenson
wires.
on a comm. Is that what it is? Okay, so Stevenson, Notsob is below you talking to you about the wires he's putting together. Do you say anything to Notsob?
Those are good wires.
Yeah. All right.
Do you explain your specific predicament as in it's not working?
Yeah, we've got a virus up here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just some goblin flipping me off.
Did you try flipping him off back?
Ooh, I didn't, but I didn't think it would work that way.
It might.
Luckily, he's flipping me off with an actual finger.
In the
Oh.
background,
So-
you see my clamp just kink, kink, kink.
Let me try. I flip it
All right.
off. I flip off.
Yeah, it as that has no register.
That didn't work. Can
maybe-
I ask, like,
Maybe I
have you
can do a
guys seen
computers
this guy?
check?
Huh?
Can I do a computers check from down here?
Not from where you are. You'd have to go back up. But you could go back up.
All right, fine. I go back up.
I want to ask, like, who is this guy, anyways?
You get a bunch of goblin shoulders shrugging until Notsob arrives on the scene, and you are looking at the face of Grimjaw, also known as Grimejaw, the leader of the Alpha Gobs.
Oh, this is the one
Originally
that Rye shot.
What was that?
This is the one that Rye shot.
The bound and gagged Neap's whimpers. Yeah, it is the face of Grimjaw.
All right. I'm going
We've got
to...
advantage, by the way, on whoever's doing crit check. Thanks to Steve.
Thank you. I don't think he's doing the crit check anymore, though.
All right. Well, I'm going to try to hack the hacks.
Yeah, give me a computer's check.
34.
34. Still not high enough to
Can I
hack
aid
it.
another, though?
Actually, aid another would get you over. It's literally 35. But as you are interfacing with the computer, I think one of the things you try is you just put in your name. It does register Sob. And it unlocks the computer for you. And it's a pre-recording of Grimjaw plays up and says, "Looks like Sob entered the command, which means you've made an alpha gob of yourself finally, you weird, naked little bastard. I know
Hi,
Sirab
Grimjaw.
loves his naked goblins
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah.
I've always thought you were weird, but
Oh, no.
I just wanted to take this opportunity to say,
I thought you were weird.
you're all right, kid. But get that
I
mole
have
checked
I have a
out.
left.
Weird looking."
Mole?
Yeah, and then the video ends.
Oh, oh, there is a mole.
You guys have operational access to the ship in a room full of antagonistic goblins behind you. I will say Revned and Draknok are the floor below still trying to re-put wires away as Notsab had instructed. You have Igor Notab, the boned goblin. You have a goblin you've learned the name of as Saxit, who is a more well-armed goblin. Silopana, you learned, is the name of the goblin wearing the skin-tight outfit. And Anila is another well-armed goblin in the room.
See, I was able to do it. I'm the one that was chosen, and I can easily stop it too.
Pretty sure the international goblin law says that this is his ship now, right? I mean, isn't that how it works?
Is that how that works?
Pretty
Silopana
sure.
has basically not left Steventon's side. Like, she's just looking up at him at his elbow, like maybe a foot away, and says, "What goblins follow laws?"
What is a law? Huh.
And Igawar says, "Did you not even listen to the prophecy? It has nothing to do with this particular ship. This is just happenstance. It is a material thing wanted by your material goblin king. Well, I have one more for you, since I apparently have the savior in my ship. Have you ever thought about a goblin queen?"
Ew. Sorry, that came out wrong.
She's visibly taken aback.
No, you're great. You are. But, I like my ship.
In
This one's a little big. It's confusing, and I don't know.
I'm going to give you guys a Hail Mary to see if we can wrap it up now without going
Okay.
into a little bit more. I want Stevenson and Rex to give me a recall knowledge, and it's going to be whatever skill works best for you in terms of magic, which I believe is I believe there's a recall knowledge based on is that how is
Mysticism.
mysticism recall, right? There's one for that. What are
Yeah.
the other recall knowledges?
There's
you
life
didn't
science.
Tell me. I need my book.
You know what? I'd allow life science if that's one of your better skills.
Yes. I don't know if that's part of the recall knowledge, though. There are.
Alrighty. Well,
you know what?
There's one in everyone, really.
I'm trying to get, it's really what you guys are doing is a perception check, but I'm trying to influence it a little bit more. There is culture, life science, mysticism, physical science, and profession.
Yes.
I will accept mysticism, life science, or physical science as your recall knowledge.
Physical science is 20.
Okay. And Rex, do you have anything else? Patrick?
I'm sorry. Hold on.
Just roll D20 and we can figure out the math after.
Yeah, I gotcha. 2.
Oof. Roll the brawl.
Okay, Brawl. I will give it to you with the 20. Stevenson, you see that this is not quite going as well as you expected. You guys have turned on the ship, but instead of giving you a bargaining chip, it instead gave the goblins a fully operational war vessel. Fully operational with a bit of an understaffed crew. And you remember Rex pinching you. And like you almost pinch yourself when you realize what Rex was trying to do. Rex was trying to trigger whatever magical ability or charm Igor used against you in reverse. There's a step that he missed. He didn't say her name.
So. Oh God. No. Oh man.
Charlie Murphy.
I don't know if this will work. This could be nasty. Take out my gun.
Everyone starts it's Mexican standoff time. Everyone pulls out a gun.
Yeah, not some points his up in the air.
Put it on my head.
They lower their guns. At least 3 of the goblins are looking excited now.
Actually, hold on. I say your name and pinch myself first, just to make sure it's really gonna work.
Hold Hold. I'm gonna give her a perception check. She kind of involuntarily winces in her wrist, like shakes something out as if she has something annoying her wrist.
All right, yeah, I do that, and I shoot myself in the head.
As you do so, the
You only
blast
said sometimes.
you're not protected by the magical item that she's wearing.
No.
The feedback triggers. You guys both are simultaneously shot in the head by your laser.
Oh no. Sorry, Stevenson.
Go ahead and roll me. I'm gonna give you an auto crit on this. So roll me
Jeez.
damage.
Oh no.
I guess a critical damage for an azimuth laser pistol, right? That's what you picked up from the ship.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'll look it up.
That's a 1d4, right?
Oh, all right.
That's burning on there, I think.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, azimuth laser pistol, pretty not very good. Not a lot.
So and then your damage for ranged is just plus half your level, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wait,
so
is
what's
it?
your
Do you have a jam? You have a range damage modifier? I didn't know that. Crap.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I mean, there's the base attack bonus, but there's no.
It might be one of the weapon specializations,
What?
but
I'm sorry. What was the question?
adding half of your level to your range damage. I know 0 does it.
Well,
Is that not right?
yeah. I mean, that's just the feat you get at level 3. The
Yeah,
weapon
okay, that's what I thought.
specialization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's just max damage then, right? And then plus 1d4
No,
burning.
it's double what's on the die, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
double
So
what's
1d4
on the die,
times 2.
plus your mods.
So 6.
6 plus. Oh, what level are you?
Well, we're
Level
6.
So
All
it's
right,
plus, so
So
12
it's
total.
9 damage. Oh yeah, no, 12 damage. Yes.
You take a total of 12 damage straight to your head, which I'm going to say bypasses your stamina because of what you're doing.
Yeah.
What health does Seeker have? Like, what is his HP? I know we're using his
Like
stat sheet.
29. 29.
29, and
Yeah.
he's like specialized for a profession. I'm going to say that Stevenson doesn't kill himself. We won't see the result of what happens per se. It's very likely that he's not going to be in the same state the next time we see him because he takes the laser pistol, like crosses his fingers and shoots himself in the temple, which ignites his head and hair on fire. Like the hair quickly begins burning as the azimuth laser pistol's fire is triggered. But similarly, so does the skin on Eagle War's head, and her head recoils. And you actually hear her neck snap under the pressure of the unexpected blow. And she topples over, dead, as Stevenson topples over.
In a lot of pain.
We'll go with unconscious and in a lot of pain.
The party's gonna come back. Rex meets him. So,
Okay.
and from the background, I do a good job. I help all.
Oh, jeez.
Does anyone put the fire out on Stevenson's head? Does Rex or Not Sob seriously consider?
Oh God, no! I know. No.
Rex would immediately. Well, does Rex have like a built-in fire
No.
extinguisher?
No.
Is there anything that Rex has to extinguish the fire?
Go ahead and say it, Chris. Go ahead. I know you're gonna do it. I know it. I know you're gonna do it.
What, like slap you in the face and whatnot?
No, you're gonna pee on him.
Yep, you're gonna pee on me. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I do really have to go to the bathroom.
You're gonna have to pee on me.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
I
So
would put
yeah,
an
just
effort to find a blanket or something to extinguish him with first.
I'm a fire goblin.
Not
got
Sob
this, guys.
extinguishes Stevenson with his own technique. The other goblins in the room, after seeing what happens, not being able to talk to Stevenson about it because of his nature, the biggest of them, which was the Saxit, he approaches and he says, "And that meat bag works for you?" As you're still urinating on Stevenson.
Oh, yeah.
My data
Drops his
records
gun,
indicate
gets down on his
it's not
knees.
accurate.
He does the you are the savior bow,
Oh.
and the goblins in the room do the same. to
Oh,
wrap
welcome,
up tonight's
everybody.
episode, because we are going to 10:30, we're 10:40 now, and I do want to get to some after party. We will say that we have some decisions to make at the beginning. That's how we play Starfinder. We come back to the goblins. The B team has successfully liberated / converted the infinitum. Notsob is the de facto captain of the infinitum. It is a decently stocked, massive military vessel from the Border Space Union, state of the art. It has no other ships in it other than the Indecision and a wreck of a ship run by the goblins that landed here, who have not taken the ship off to go get food or anything because they don't want to leave it. The ship is operational. You guys have succeeded. You have either started phase 1 of Notsob the Savior and his green onslaught against the universe, as the Goblin King would like, or Notsob has his own ship.
Notsob does have his own ship.
Gonna have to kind of figure out how he wants to do it from that. But for now, at the very least, the B team has solved the issue of the mysterious radio message. They have, as far as we know, accomplished the mission set out to them by the Goblin King. And the next time we see them, they're gonna have some explaining to do.
And he's so naked.
So naked, with a brand new name of Sovereignaut.
Rex just wanted to help.
Yeah.
And Rex was the
didn't want to
Skittermander
even
for a
be
day.
there. He wasn't even supposed to be there today.
Thank you, Clerks.
37.
In a row. I'm going to wrap up tonight's episode. I want to remind everyone, next week, same time, 8:30 p.m. EST, we'll be doing our first Supernatural episode. It'll be a character building episode with some fun added into that. And it will be like, we'll go over some rules for the Cortex system, which is the RPG system we'll be using. It's more narrative than Starfinder. So if you guys are, at all interested in different systems, come on in. If you're interested in Supernatural at all, tell your friends. I will say, next episode will be the least supernatural episode because it's mechanical.
It's session 0.
It's session 0. So if you have a friend who is of the Supernatural fandom and you really want them to show up, not next week, the week after. Sound good, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that said, for everyone who is not hanging out in the after party or is in the audio podcast, thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this wrap up of special Starfinder episode. I will see you guys, or you will hear me at some point next week, whatever your intake is. And until then, never split the Goram party.
Yeah. Nick.
Yeah, Michael?
Michael. Yeah, Michael. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael.
All right, J-Man.